Hi, my name is Shawn Shaler. This is my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek, and we've taken a couple weeks off. We had to recover from that amazing Avatar rankings video that we did. That Avatar rankings video that shook the world of Avatar. We had to take a minute
Yes,
to
it
recover from
did.
that. It shook the world. It was a lot of fun though to interact with people, and it's not like there was a flood, but a lot of different people submitted a lot of different opinions on individual avatars and things. So just that alone kind of made it all worthwhile to generate some positive interaction in a way that wasn't just kind of the head to head stuff that we always see on the fan page. I like it when there's a little bit different discussion there. So it was a lot of fun. But today we're here to get back on track. We are going to cram 2 episodes into one podcast since we're falling behind. And they're maybe not the deepest episodes. They're not the best, but not the deepest. So we're going to cram episodes 9 and 10, which is called the Waterbending Scroll. That's episode 9. Episode 10 is called Jet. But before we get into that, first of all, Chris, how's it going?
Going good, going decent. I've been really knee deep into Avatar lately. Because me and my daughter's been watching it, and she loves it. Like, she asks, like, "Daddy, can we watch Avatar?" I'm like, "Yes, yes, we can."
How could you possibly say no? Like, it could be bedtime, and she'd be like,
Yeah,
Daddy, we got to see what happens. I know you
yeah.
would break.
I think it's both my, yeah, both my. I think both my kids like it. My son, I think, likes most everything, but he he likes it when the intro comes on and I say it, and then I don't know, he just the way he reacts to the intro is funny. But
I,
I'm a proud father.
if it generates a little positive nostalgia for him now, like even if he doesn't have these memories of it, just if he continues seeing it and associating it with positive things, that's got to be good, right? Like that's got to be a
Yeah.
win by itself. Excellent. And then I saw you did a Venom review. I think is the movie review you have done since we last met. Care to share a very quick synopsis of Venom?
It was entertaining enough, but the CGI was terrible. The action was indiscerning, and the story was kind of blah. And yeah, I think I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10, and that's really on the lower scale in my lower range of my ratings and my movie ratings. But it was enjoyable enough. I think I was talking to someone, and they were like, "Yeah, man, that comes on TNT. The TNT Sunday Night movie is going to kill on that," and I think it will.
I keep seeing like commercials for it when I'm watching football. They're like, but they're so highly specific because I think it's been maybe a little underwhelming. I haven't looked at box office figures, but I think overall it's been a hair underwhelming. And so the ads are very specific though. They're like, it's the biggest movie in theaters right exactly this moment right now
Yeah, yeah,
until
yeah.
next week or whatever.
Or like, or like Dan Mitchell from Chicago News One says this is the best movie he's seen this week. Like,
the the Hoboken Auto Trader gives it 2 thumbs up. So I stole that from Brian Regan. That's one of my favorite Brian Regan skits. But anyway, get out there, watch Chris's Venom reviews and all of his reviews. And that is The Objective Geek on YouTube. So going forward, again, just wanted to give a real quick thank you for watching our Avatar rankings. I haven't checked the views. It didn't have like a ton of views, but relative to the rest of our other videos, it kind of had a ton
yeah.
of views. So that made me feel really good. I don't remember what it was at the last time I watched it, but it made me feel good. So thanks everybody for watching those. Oh, I just asked you that you see any movies. Yes, you did. You saw Venom. Oh, hey, I've got a bone to pick with you. So I tried. So first thing I would like to say is that the Mario cereal, which is what started all this, is gross, even without the marshmallows. So that part is like
I will say I have had it. Our friend Roberto bought it for me
of course
because
he would.
he took off because he took off work one week and I had to cover for him, and so in order as a gift of I don't know of goodwill, he bought me some Mario cereal that I only ate like one bowl of.
It's not inedible, but it just compared to any other cereal you could eat, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
So I bought 2
yeah,
boxes. Let's just say one box is gonna go bad, and the other box is gonna stay unopened. And they don't even have the amiibos, like the amiibo UPCs on them, which was the
Oh,
exciting part.
no, mine's did.
Mine do not,
Yeah.
because the newer ones do not. That stopped at a certain point.
That's
So I
fine.
got gypped, but they're only like $2, probably because they're gross and they don't have amiibos. But for the record, no, I also don't like marshmallows in my cereal, and I have come to find out that I am in like the 2% of all people that believe that, because it's just extra sugar. I get that part, but they're crunchy and squishy
Oh,
all at the same time. It's all messed up. Ugh, I don't like
it
regular.
adds it adds a new texture to it. Like cereal often isn't doesn't have that many textures to it. They're all just the same as that thing. But man, you get that one little marshmallow in there, and it's great. Now I will say this. So one time I got some Lucky Charm Frosted Flakes,
Ooh,
and so it was the Lucky Charm pieces in the Frosted Flakes. One thing, it's great, but they also jip you on the marshmallows. And so I was like, you know what? I want some more marshmallows. So I put some real marshmallows in there.
oh,
Not the same.
Chris
It
Ford,
is
don't do that.
not.
You
It's not the same. It was
you can
disgusting.
buy the like bulk bags of those cereal marshmallows.
Really?
Uh, so
Uh,
okay, so I can only say this for sure via two means, and one is Amazon. You can go to Amazon and I just search like cereal marshmallows. And
cereal
two,
marshmallow.
in near the hometown, near the small town where I went to grade school, there was a small Mennonite community. I guess I think it's Mennonite. I hope I'm not messing that up. And there was a bulk goods, like a bulk food store, and it just had very, very weird and unique stuff. So it wasn't like Lucky Charms branded marshmallows, but it was that exact type of marshmallows that you could buy in those bags, and it was like a 5 pound bag. It was like a bag of dog food, but just marshmallows. They were massive. But yeah, so you can I just go to Amazon and search cereal marshmallows. Just don't do regular marshmallows. That's bad. I will defend
No, it's not
marshmallows a
good.
little bit in saying that the cereals that I enjoy don't lend themselves to marshmallows, because I like Cocoa Krispies, Cocoa Pebbles, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's not marshmallow stuff. So it's partially my own
Yeah.
taste. But I felt like that was a necessary bone to pick with you to get my important feelings. And then my second one here, my week has been so full of important stuff. I have been playing a lot of Magic.
Clearly.
I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering, which is kind of a new thing for me. And this is only news for us because we're staunch. I'm gonna say we're staunch Yu-Gi-Oh. I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in like 2 years.
I haven't played since the last time I played with you,
I
so
have not played since. Well, I've played one time since then with a guy who was good at Magic, and he brought his old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, thinking he could just like piece a deck together. And I was like, I know you've played enough Magic to know that's not how trading card games work. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself. But I do admit that I think I like Magic better because it's much sort of simpler in its foundation. But I do have one big problem: is that the how do I word this? It's so much more reliant on good deck building, but it's 60 cards, and the Magic universe is massive. So I'm so intimidated, I don't even know where to start. So while it's a better game, I'll probably never be any good at it because I feel like it favors the experience. The people, and there's different formats and all that stuff, but the people who know more and who play more, like it has a strong, definitive favoritism towards experienced players. So that's been tough, but sometime you ought to try Magic. It is good stuff.
but does it the thing that Magic lacks though is the heart of the cards.
There's no
I
heart in
mean,
Magic.
that you can't.
There's
Yeah.
zero
Exactly.
heart.
When will you ever just be like, I gotta draw this one card, the one card out of the 20 left in my deck that I need to turn this game around, and you say to yourself or out loud, "Heart of the cards, be with me," and and you pick up the card, and it is just the right card, and you know, like that is some deep spiritual stuff there. You have the heart of the
Bring your hand in
cards.
a little closer to yourself when you do that. I want everybody to see how you're holding your fingers. That's
Gotta, you
important.
gotta,
That's important.
it's very important. You gotta have the
Two fingers.
two fingers, and then
The
you
slow
look
snap.
at it.
You look like you're about to flip somebody off. Do like a very elaborate middle finger.
Someone started flipping people off.
Heart of the cards.
Oh,
Oh
peace
man.
be with you. Heart.
So to be fair, I do that a lot because there's cards called Legendary that you can only have one of on the field at a time. I think you can still have four of them in your deck. I'm not 100% on all the rules yet. but you can only have one card on the field at a time. And the ones that I have in my deck, I only have one in there because they're very rare. I'm playing online, so they're not expensive, but they're very rare. Like, you don't draw them as much, and so I find myself believing that a lot. But you have a 1 in 60 or a 1 in whatever. There's 20 more cards, and there's only probably one of them in my deck. So I can say it all I want, but it's never gonna happen. I'm never gonna get the satisfaction of drawing the Dark Magician when I need him the most.
No one needs Dark Magician. Come on,
No.
what is this? What is this? 2002?
You could try your hardest to build a great deck around Dark Magician, and I think
He's a 7-star 2500 monster. Like, no one. You don't need that.
it is. They should.
I know very few people will understand.
But that's kind of a testament to how the different games, like, maybe why Magic has succeeded longer is because sometimes, like, when they changed that rule in Yu-Gi-Oh to needing to sacrifice 2 for a 7-star instead of just 1, like, when that happened,
I mean, that's always been the rule.
no, it started just as 1, right? Just as 1 for anything before.
No. So if nah, it's always been. It's like 5 and 6. All you need is 1, and then 7 and up, you need 2.
So I was that just it does seem to demean the Dark Magician's importance right away when he's so important to the show. You would want
he's
him
very
in every
important to the
kid's.
show.
He needed to be a 6-star. That's what it amounts to. He needed to be a 6-star monster.
Yes, yeah. The thing is, Gray Skull, Summon
yeah.
Gray Skull,
Who's way
Summon
better
Skull.
card, and he's a fiend, so he works in hundreds of other decks.
and he's dark. Well, Dark Magician's dark too, but he's 2400, so he's just 100 less than Dark Magician, but only requires 1 sacrifice.
Oh, less tribute. That's one
Gosh,
less.
now, man,
one less land.
real
that you
nerdy.
gotta
This is
sacrifice. Well, you can't say.
I think this is. I've never heard a nerdier podcast than this right now.
Why? Because we just argued about marshmallows and Yu-Gi-Oh? Well, it's about to get better because I wanted to bring up, Chris, I'm okay with the idea, excited even, of expanding our podcast universe beyond just episodes like we did with the ranking the avatars. I don't know how it would fit in, but I do want to rank the best Disney movies. You are a very experienced movie watching person. You have very interesting opinions on Disney movies. I don't, but I would rank them just to give you something to compare to. I would love to go through like a top 5 Disney movies at some point. I think we should give that a shot. That's all I had on that. I just like
definitely.
the idea.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. No, there will be my top 5 in its order is not the usual top 5. It's somewhat controversial, I think, when I tell people this. It's not that controversial, I don't think. Like, there was one point at work, we did a March Madness bracket of 68 Disney cartoon movies, and some people's Final Fours were just terrible. Like, we would legit judge them.
Part of that is bracketing, though. Part of that is seeding, where it makes the Final Fours terrible. Like, it's situational, you know?
Yeah. Oh, we did a lot of work on the seeding, I think. Well, Adams, he did a lot of work on the seeding. But like, some people's Final Four would have like the aristocrats in it, and like they would have like just a 4, and like their Final Four would just be animals. I'm like, was that your theme or something? Like, no, that's my that's my Final Four.
So that's why I'm much more on board with there again, maybe how we did the avatars, because rather than taking it in a 1-by-1 head-to-head approach, you never run into those situations where it just feels like, oh, well, on any given day I'd rather watch this movie, but you know what, maybe this one's really better, but it gets a bad matchup or whatever. I don't know, I don't like the seeding. I would prefer the ranking. Well, we can do it a couple different ways, so I'm fine with that. I think our top 2 or 3 would be similar, actually, if I had to guess. I think, and based on memory of our previous discussions, I think after that it would branch off pretty bad. Top 2 or 3. I know there's one of them that we both enjoy, but I don't like it nearly as much as you, and I know it's high up on your list. But whatever. At some point we should do it just to shake things up. It'd be interesting.
Definitely.
Do it when we do this. Is that going to be like all Disney and all Pixar, or is it going to be all strictly Disney? Disney animated?
Pixar would be included in Disney,
not just strictly Disney animated movies.
Yeah, can't throw like Remember the Titans in there.
Man, there goes my top pick right there. Sucker for football movies. What can I say? Was Angels in the Outfield? Was that Disney?
Not sure.
I can picture it being in the big white box, but I know that doesn't necessarily mean it was Disney.
Or we could just do a whole separate. We could do a whole separate one about sports movies. I remember
It,
one time I was telling someone was looking up a list of top sports movies, and I was like, "So D2 The Mighty Ducks is number one, right?"
that's number 3 on my list. Number 2. It's number 2 on my list.
Actually, I'm not sure it's number one on my list either, but it's high.
So, all I can say is that every time I watch it, I don't cry. Not really ever. I'm kind of an emotionless stump, and I don't feel emotions. But I do still cry every single time I watch Angels in the Outfield when I find out that Mel Clark is going to die. I'm like, you just told a kid that this guy's going to die. You didn't just teach him about death. You, like, taught... You just, how depressing is it going to be every time you look at Mel? You're like, well, he's gone. That's a kid. And then I cry every time. Sorry, spoiler alert for a 25-year-old movie. Whatever. It's a good movie. Go watch it.
I never really seen it before.
What? Did I really just spoil the movie for somebody? I did. Hey, go watch Angels in the Outfield, and just, you don't have to cry, but I hope you at least enjoy it a little bit. But
Yeah, maybe I will.
hey, that's my news and nonsense, and it was mostly nonsense. I don't really like news, but that was nonsense. Anyway, Chris, anything that you would like to clean up from previous videos or Avatar? That's a great screenshot, I know. From previous videos, Avatar rankings lists, our Dragon Prince review, our live action Avatar look forward to video. Any cleanup at all?
No. There hasn't been that much news lately. They are finally releasing at some point Avatar Funko Pops, which I'm a huge avid Funko Pop collector. And so I will immediately buy them all.
I suppose, maybe you can or can't tell if you're watching this because our heads are so small. But yes, those are all basically Funko Pops in the middle rows right behind his head. Those are mostly Funko Pops.
Yeah, there's like there's a bunch of Jokers over there. And then I have heroes over here. Then I have villains over here. And then just Joker by himself. And Harley.
You should separate them so that they don't conspire together. It seems dangerous to have them all in one place. Again, if you haven't seen those, go watch our Avatar ranking video. And then also, if you haven't watched The Dragon Prince, we liked it at different levels, but I think we both liked it. So definitely go watch that on Netflix.
Oh, and it has been picked up for season 2.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Like I said, I think we liked it at different levels, but we both really liked it. That's the important part. So go watch that on Netflix. And then finally, synopsis. Well, guess what? I really don't. I mean, I remember the episodes, but it's been a really long time since we've talked about episodes. I think it was the solstice, right?
Yeah, Winter Solstice.
And so it was a 2-part episode. Yeah. So and basically,
and pretty much
they got to go to the temple on the island, on the crescent-shaped island, so that Aang can meet up with Roku and try to learn a little bit more about his future. And then they sort of narrowly escape, and it's crazy. And Roku like destroys the whole temple, and it's awesome. And that brings us to the present day when they're essentially on their travels. And Aang, this is the first time where Aang, it's sort of the gravity of the situation has kind of hit him that he actually has to master all 4 elements. Like you don't just instantly become the Avatar. You actually have to go learn and practice and study and try hard and stuff. And this is the first time that's really hitting him, and that's kind of a theme through the first episode that we're going to talk about for sure. Nothing to add.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, I didn't have anything to add. Great. I was like, good synopsis there.
It's been so long, I was like, I can't even remember what episodes came before this. So yeah, well, let's kick it off by talking about the first episode, or which is actually episode 9, and that is the Waterbending Scroll.
Yeah, so they're flying somewhere, and Aang is freaking out. He's like literally pacing on top of Appa. He is freaked out, and pretty much Katara calms it down, like, listen, we'll go practice waterbending, and they go find a puddle to go splash in. And then Sokka's stuck on Appa foot cleaning duty.
is literally like picking stuff out of his toes, and it's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and then
Bugs and dirt, or bugs and mud.
and then this is a good time to note that this is kind of one of those split story episodes at first, at least.
Yeah, yeah. It's probably the first time that they actually converge on each other.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, Uncle Iroh. So the ship is headed somewhere, and they completely changes course as it goes like, who changed our course? And Iroh just like, I did. I'm missing my White Lotus tile of this game that you never even seen this game before, really. But this is the first time that they drop something with the lotus in it, which is the White Lotus tile, which sometime in the future, it's one of those little breadcrumbs that they've planted since the beginning.
And it's Pie Show, right?
And yeah, they're playing Pie Show. So Uncle wants to go into town so he can get a new Pie Show piece.
And then, so then it cuts back to the puddle, which is a very lovely puddle, by the way.
Yeah, Katara and this is part of the episode that I hate. It was Katara.
Yeah, she's off. She's
so
a
my roommate,
monster. We're so used to like sort of grown up, mature Katara, and we've talked about how many times that she's like this grounded tether to reality. No, in this episode, she's a jerk. I don't know how else to put it. Whatever.
Yeah, it's fun. My roommate in college really hated Katara. like, like there's a certain scene where she completely threatens the life of someone. And excuse my language, he's like, gosh, she's such a bitch.
And in this episode, like, she is. Now,
she's not nice to say the least.
And it's important to remember that she is just a kid. Like, I keep reminding her, she's
13.
They have been traveling together a long time, and even in that episode, by the episode that you're talking about, which that's a later one, right? Or at least mid. Is that season 2?
No, that's like mid-season 3 that I was referencing.
Okay, so if it's the one I'm thinking of, they have been through a lot. It's like, all right,
actually, I will cut her slack on threatening this certain person's life. I completely buy her doing that. Like, she isn't being like bratty. Like, she's just being protective. Yeah. I will completely cut her slack on that.
But good reminder.
But my roommate did not like that.
Good reminder in this episode though that like, all right, she's just a kid. It's like they're not adults. I don't know how else to say it, but
she is very mature for her age. Every now and then she shows her age.
It's gonna happen.
But still, she's still annoying in this episode. She's teaching Aang waterbending. She's going through like, I'm gonna teach you this move, Aang. This might be a little hard, and Aang just gets it immediately. And then she shows another move, might be a little hard. Aang gets it immediately because Aang is just naturally talented because bending comes very natural to the Avatar. And then she tries to teach him one move of like, all right, I've been working on it. It's not really, I haven't even mastered it myself. The goal is just one big wave. And she tries, and Aang is just like this. And he just drowns Sokka and Appa in a freaking waterfall of water. And then she gets mad at him and like, she blows up at Aang. Like, Aang did not deserve it at all.
Sokka, by the way, though, handling all this very well. And I should note that it is in these 2 episodes that we're talking about right now, where I turned the corner on Sokka a little bit. I'm starting to get better feelings and better vibes for what he contributes. So thanks for hanging in there, Sokka. And he's taking this all very well.
So the group, because Aang did that big waterbending splash, he sent all their material and stuff and supplies down the river, so they got to go into town and meet with some merchants to get some things. They only got 3 copper pieces, and Aang buys a seemingly useless whistle, and then they're stuck with 2 copper pieces. And Katara finds the scroll, and pretty much, which that whistle comes in very handy.
Spoiler alert, it's a great whistle.
Yeah, it's a great whistle. Yeah, I do like this pirate guy for some reason.
I do too. He's very in tune with his craft.
Yes, yeah, like yeah. Um, so then they find the waterbending scroll, and you can tell that the head pirate guy's like, we got it on a very good discount. Pretty much they stole it, and Aang is like, listen, I know how to haggle with them. Like, how about 1 copper piece? And the guy laughs,
Well, no.
and then
Remember
goes,
though, he says before this, like before they haggle, because he says it twice. Before they haggle, he's like, unless you have 2,000, is it gold pieces
yeah,
or
yeah.
copper pieces? I forget. It might be 2,000 gold pieces.
I think he says a different currency.
It's a different level, so he's like
Yeah, different.
2,000,
Yeah.
and then Aang's like, listen up, Katara, I know how to deal with these guys. How about? And he like puts on a piratey voice. He's like, how about 1 copper piece? Oh, it's great. I love that.
And then then the pirate guy laughs at it, and then Aang goes, 2 copper pieces, and then it's not funny the second time, kid. Uh, and then I did like Sokka's realizing that they're pirates. There's a behind the scenes thing where I think it's Brian Konietzko showing how they get the animation done. Like a lot of times they will physically act out the scenes. So Sokka is moving throughout, like he's looking like, huh, weird, suspicious merchandise, shady tactics, and then he does like all this movement. You're pirates, and then you can see behind the scenes Brian Konietzko doing that same movement. So then they send that stuff to overseas, and they use that as a reference for the animation. They do the same thing with their fighting scenes.
It's probably a little more interesting to watch the acted out
Yeah.
fighting. But thank you,
Yes.
Brian, for getting in. I mean, when you're trying to get the emotion, at least of the voice acting down and everything, to try to piece it all together, but you can't see it, I can imagine it helps to act it out for sure. You're
Yeah.
trying to match it all together.
I don't think shows. I've never heard of cartoon that did that before, where you have or you send over a reference video of the action you want over to the animators in Asia. I've never heard of another cartoon doing that.
Talking about the fight scenes makes me wonder what, like, if there's any more, probably not in this day and age, it's probably more rare because we have so many other things to reference, but like maybe early 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and stuff like that is very action heavy and very early in its genre, or even Batman the Animated Series, that kind of stuff. I mean, some of that animation is extremely detailed for the time, so it makes you wonder
See,
if they
the
had
thing is
similar.
that I don't think they. I only say that because their animation was incredible, like in Batman animated series, like
For
it
the
was
time, at
beautiful.
least,
But
yeah.
in motion, I don't think it's. Or I wouldn't say in motion, because in motion, Batman animated series I think was much better than like Spider-Man or X-Men. Um, but like the fighting wasn't that great. Like it was just Batman throwing a punch,
So maybe
and like
maybe what we're getting at here is
it wasn't
that
like
the
hand to hand combating.
maybe we'll have to go back and like watch the Turtles fight the Foot Clan and give some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Mostly because I want an excuse to watch the Turtles again. But anyway, yeah, it's really funny when Sokka's like step by step coming to this realization. He says it first, like nobody else comes to the conclusion first. We look at Sokka like he's an idiot, but it's not like anybody else is pointing fingers like, "Hey, we should leave. These are pirates." So there again, props to
Yeah.
Sokka. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, and then once they figure out that they're pirates, Katara's like, "Hey, I'm not feeling so good. Let's leave." And then on their way out, the guys, one of the pirates is like, "Hey, where are you going?" And then Aang is like, "Ah, see, I knew I was doing a good job haggling, something like that." And then it's like, "No, they're chasing you."
Finally came
Yeah,
to their
they
senses. Yeah.
and they get chased all throughout this village. And yeah, they come across the Cabbage Man, and Aang just complete disregard for this guy's life, complete disregard for his how he earns an income, just throws the cabbages.
Yeah, Aang, I don't know what
And this is our
insurance
second
like,
time. Yeah, and this is our second time seeing the Cabbage Guy, and so this is like the first time that it's a running joke.
The poor, poor
But
man. So the first time it is admittedly kind of an accident, but what we're getting at this time, Aang uses it as a weapon. Like he blows that
yeah,
cart at the pirates chasing him. So it's pretty much Aang making a choice. Like you got to sacrifice these cabbages. Hopefully, it's not that same guy that I ran into in Omashu, but it was. I'm sure Aang didn't have
or
time to
just
think
Aang
that.
has a vendetta against cabbages.
Maybe it is disgusting. Uh, unless you like it, sorry, whatever. Ugh, cabbage. I don't like most vegetables. Let's be clear.
So then they steal the Katara steals the scroll, and this is also when Katara's annoying to me. I mean, I guess I should maybe give her a little credit because she has never had a waterbending teacher, and you know that waterbending is so important to her, and you learn that from episode 1, freaking scene 1.
She's on her own as a waterbender. She's had no support in her whole life.
And so her getting the scroll connects her more to her culture and teaches her how to be a waterbender. But the purpose of getting it was to teach Aang. And no, she completely hogs the scroll.
And then it is funny just to hear Sokka be like, why are you getting so crazy over just a bunch of fancy splashes or something like that? I don't remember how he says it, but...
Yeah. And then Uncle Iroh and Zuko. Well, Zuko's like guys going to the mall with their girlfriends. Like, did you find what you're looking for? And then Uncle pretty much says, nope, didn't find it. But the best thing, which this is like wise. This is, I mean, it's not the wisest thing Uncle Iroh has said, but it makes a lot of sense. The I forget how he words it exactly.
The only thing, so this resonates with me because I love garage sales, and so this quote hits really hard with me. It's the only thing better than finding what you were looking for is finding something that you weren't looking for at a great price.
Yeah, at a great price.
But he hesitates. The timing is really spot on. Something that you weren't looking for, and then a really good at a great price.
If he had ended it. If it ended it for at a great price, it would sound very wise. Like something like, oh, your destiny isn't always what you think it's going to be, but might turn out to something. Nah, he's talking about you might find some other crap, but at a great price.
You might find your destiny at a discount. Not the only awesome accidental wisdom from Uncle in this episode.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, not at all. And so then we cut back to the gang in their puddle doing fancy splashes, and Katara is getting all sorts of PO'd.
Yeah, because she's trying to try out the water whip technique, and Aang gets it immediately. Is this when she blows up in Aang's face?
Yes,
I feel like she kind of blows up. Okay,
no, this
by
is
the whole
big one though, yeah.
Yeah, where Aang feels like he's on the verge of tears.
Yeah.
This is probably the most annoying part to me because all right, Katara, you were supposed to be Aang fell in love with you from pretty much the first moment he saw you, and you're just being a complete just jerk to him, all because it's no fault to Aang either. He's just naturally talented at this. But yeah, she's pretty much. Your infinite wisdom is sometimes annoying, something to that extent. It's a very, very long ramble.
It's sort of a very sharp blow. It's not childish at all. It's not just one kid calling another kid stupid. It's a very articulate blow, and I think that makes it more painful.
Yeah.
Personally, I do.
Yes, it does.
Right. But then we get to the part. So she swears off it. She's like, "Here, you know what? It's yours now. Take the scroll. I don't need it anymore." This is the part where I hate Katara the most because she.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. You describe it. I'll sit here and feel.
She says one thing. She sees it that she's made Aang sad. She's like, you know what? It's been too much. It's been getting to me. I will no longer. It's all yours. I will no longer care about it. Split second later, till they're sleeping, she's sneaking out so she can try out the moves.
Definitely caring about it.
Yeah, definitely caring. You just went back on your word, and you only had that word because you made Aang feel so terrible, which just makes her seem like such a worse person.
Yes,
this is definitely
horrible.
the worst. Katara I think is ever in the show. Maybe.
I could agree with that. Eh.
So she's practicing by the lake. Like Zuko knows that, like him. Oh, and I forgot at some point Zuko and the pirates are working together. Oh, because he overhears them saying that the bald-headed kid and the waterbending girl got away. So he's working with the pirates to capture Aang, and for the pirates to get the waterbending scroll back. So they're on the river because, like, oh, they got a waterbending scroll, they'll be on the river. So Zuko being slightly smart, and and he finds Katara, and this is probably the moment that Katang fans, like not Katang fans, Zutara fans, cling on to.
No, they're monsters, and this is dumb.
Like, I do hate the thought of Zutara, but
we are who our
so the pirates
choices are,
come,
and they chose to be together. They, as in Aang and Katara, I mean.
Yeah. Like there was never an idea from the creators for them two to be together. Anyway, this might have been where it started for Zutara fans. So she's running from the pirates, and then Zuko's there, just like, "I'll save you from the pirates." Like he's talking in a way that's like, oh, they have, I don't know. I mean, they don't have like connection here, but it's just the way he's talking.
There's a little bit of a sensual tone to it in a weird way.
He does say it in a little bit of a.
So what we're saying is that a voice, let's call it a slip of mediocre voice acting, is what created this cult following for a terrible idea.
I think it's just like maybe girls want the bad boy or something. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. Nobody wants us good kids.
But then so Zuko has pretty much tells her that she can have her necklace. I don't know why he thinks it's important to her, but whatever. I mean, like he wouldn't. Maybe he would know what that. He would know.
I don't think so.
What
either.
that necklace symbolizes for her. It's because we all know.
Yeah, he just hedging a bet. Like, hey, this is hers. Maybe it's important. Yeah. Turns out it is.
Okay, yeah.
That's all I've got.
I'll buy that.
Just a guess.
And so he took it all the way from the freaking imprisoned episode. So he's been holding on to that for a while. And he continues to hold on to it. And pretty much saying that, and it's also the first time that Zuko somewhat opens up to Katara. It's like, I need to help me find him. Like, I'll give you your necklace. Like, he will help me restore something I've lost. And he does say, in my honor. So this is the first time he actually opens up a little bit to Katara, which is, yeah, but it's still like she's not buying any of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it does feel genuine coming out of his mouth. It's not a good enough reason for her, but as it should not be.
Yeah. Okay, so then the pirates capture Aang, like they ambush him, and then Sykes says, "What? I'm not important," and they take him too. So now everybody's all gathered together, ready to trade the Waterbending Scroll for Aang, the Avatar, and then Sokka comes up with like manipulating them, like, you're gonna give up the Avatar for a piece of paper, essentially. I'm sure the Fire Lord would pay a hefty price.
If you'll allow me to set the scene, so basically so they have Sokka and Katara kidnapped, and basically Zuko has plucked the waterbending scroll away, so he's holding that. But then the pirates have Sokka, Aang, and Katara, and that's when Sokka goes to work with some brilliant negotiation tactics.
Yeah,
because the pirates want the scroll back, or so they think.
Yeah. So then the pirates are like, you know what? Forget the scroll. We can get 1,000 of them with the money we'll get from turning in the Avatar. And then they all turn sides on each other, and they fight. And our team kind of gets away on a. There's a nice moment of Aang trying to find Zuko in this weird dust that's unrealistically.
It's like a cartoon fight dust cloud thing.
It's very thick, yeah. And Aang airbends it out to see, and then there's like, and everyone can see him, then he airbends it back in. They all get away like on a boat, and the pirates get away on a boat to go after them. Oh yeah, they use Aang and Katara. I guess this is when they make amends. They use water bending to get the boat to the water.
Yeah,
And then yeah, they try to escape, and then
I love it so much.
Zuko, yeah, Zuko and the head pirate guy are fighting, and Uncle Iroh jumps in with you probably I think you know it better
I
than I
don't
do.
remember exactly how it goes. It's just something about you're so busy worrying about something else. I don't remember that you to see that your own ship has set sail.
Set sail, yeah. And then Zuko says, "Uncle, we don't have time for your proverbs. It's not a proverb. Your boat is setting sail. Maybe it should be a proverb."
And so
Yeah.
then the pirates essentially steal Zuko's boat.
Yeah, yeah,
And
and
so
they
then Uncle
completely,
says it again. Maybe it should be a proverb.
yeah.
Ah, oh, what a great scene. Way to go, Uncle. Oh, there it
And
is. I even had a thing
I
set
think,
up.
I think at that point they're, is that the end of Zuko
In this
and Iroh in the story?
episode, yeah, I think they're
Yeah,
pretty much done because now the pirates use Zuko's. I don't even know that it's a big ship. Is it just a rowboat or something? I can't remember.
no, it's
It's
a
not like the
fairly
but
decent
it's
sized
not the
ship. It's not like
big
a Fire Nation warship.
yeah, it's not the big warship
Yeah,
they take. It's a
yeah, it's not
smaller
that.
deal. It's Iroh's
Yeah,
his merchandise boat. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, because the pirates use it still though just to catch up to Aang and
yeah,
Katara Sokka in their own ship.
yeah. There's a nice little Momo versus that parrot hawk lizard thing
Yeah,
fight.
the
Momo
creepy,
has been stepping up a lot
horrifying.
lately.
It's about time he chipped in because all he does is eat and annoy people. It's about time he paid his dues.
Yeah.
No, it's a cool scene where
Uh,
he steals the waterbending scroll and then the parrot lizard thing kind of chasing. It's kind of cool, sort of chase scene animation that we have not seen to
yeah,
this point.
yeah.
I don't think.
Uh, yeah. So then they essentially defeat the pirates, and then they're about to go over a waterfall, and they well yeah they stop it.
Kind of
Oh
get
yeah
it
yeah
turned around.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah they stop it. They get it turned around, but then the pirates boat are just hit them off the waterfall, and this is where that whistle comes back in handy because it's actually a animal whistle that Appa can hear,
yeah.
and Appa saves them.
As they're essentially, it's kind of so the fight scene isn't amazing. There's some fun little
No,
water
it's not.
bending in there. They kind of Katara gets the water whip right, and Aang does a few fun things with water bending, but it's not a great fight scene. But it is cool when they fall over the edge after Aang blows a whistle, and just the timing with Appa. It's pretty nicely animated.
No, yeah. Mm. And then you come to find out Uncle Iroh says, like he kind of warns them, like Zuko, you won't believe it.
They're
I've
just
had the White Lotus Lotus tile on me the whole time.
it was in my
Yeah,
pocket
that
the
just
whole time.
yeah. What an M Night Shyamalan twist.
That's way better than anything Shyamalan has done. So whatever.
I don't. You know what? I'm somewhat getting past my hatred for M Night Shyamalan. The movie Glass is coming out soon. But you know, this isn't the place to hype up M Night Shyamalan. I apologize.
This it's preaching to the wrong choir, a different choir in a different
I
church.
know.
That's all right. I'll stand up against him with this crowd. So yeah, that's the end of episode one. I figured we would go ahead and do our ratings sort of
Yes.
separately. I figured we'd do our ratings for this one and then the next episode and the next ratings. So let's get to
Yeah.
yours
Yeah. That makes sense.
first.
All right. Audiovisual gave it a 7. There wasn't really anything special about this. I think. I mean, the music was the normal music. It didn't really grab you anywhere. This isn't that type of episode, really. I don't think. Visually, it wasn't that thrilling. So yeah, so I just gave it a 7. On to story. Um, yeah, it gets no more than a 7. I almost gave it a 6.5, but Katara was just so annoying in this episode. And people, the thing is, people I think some people who don't like Legend of Korra is and I don't want to just completely generalize people here. They might have actual gripes against Legend of Korra, and there are some gripes in there. But people who are like, man, Korra is so annoying. Like I think I can count how many times Korra is actually annoying. Korra is as annoying as Katara is a lot of times, or as Aang is a lot of times. Like there are moments where Aang is really annoying, and there are moments where Katara is just really annoying. I'm like, do people just overlook that? I think maybe they overlook it because of nostalgia. But Katara was terrible in this episode.
There's a
Also, I
you
forget to
wrapped up
mention that.
so many big topics into that one little piece there. I will say
Um,
that
oh,
we've been through the avatars. I can't tell you where Korra landed because you have to go watch the videos. But we can agree that we like Korra's work as an avatar. I'll still agree with the fans for the most part to say that like she's a more frustrating character more frequently, at least in the early going. Whereas this, I mean, we're just getting this first one bad glimpse of Katara, and you catch one or two throughout. Maybe the same with Aang. You can count a couple of times, but there's a very steep, maybe not like a learning curve, but sort of like an acquired taste where you and Korra kind of have to grow together as you keep watching the seasons.
yeah, and that's the thing that I absolutely love about Korra. Korra is, to me, is much more relatable than I think really any character besides. I think she's more relatable than Zuko. Like I've never had something so Zuko has the best character arc in any story ever in the history of stories, in my opinion. Um,
Wow, those big words.
yeah, sorry, I was. But Korra, I think, is the most relatable character in Avatar. Like she's faulty. She goes through things, but she often faces adversity. At she faces all of that, and she's still able to come out a better person. So I love Korra for that.
I will
But
say that
on this episode,
I think you have to grow with Korra. I don't think you can separate maybe one season
yeah,
from the others. I think you have to take it all in order, and you
yes,
have to
yeah,
do it all, and you have to grow with her. And like I said, she is frustrating and annoying, and you'll hate it at first, but with some patience and some time and some of her growth, you grow together. You grow to like it.
yeah. And also, the thing I didn't like about the story was that it wraps up with Sokka stealing the water bending scroll back from the pirates, and then Sokka's like, "I hope you learned a lesson." And then Katara's like, "Yeah, stealing is bad unless it's from pirates." That's not the lesson, Katara.
It's a beautiful lesson.
That's that's not the lesson. You didn't learn anything at
Clearly,
all.
still being
So
a
yeah, so
snot. Yeah.
yeah. And then Aang says, "Good one, Katara." Like, come on. No, so yeah, so at most it gets a 7.
That's fair. That's
And then
fair.
on memorable for me, there are some laughing moments like the 2 copper pieces and Iroh with his proverbs and stuff like that saved it because it could have been lower. So yeah, so I'm on a straight lucky 7s, I guess.
It was a
Which of course,
very easy average. Yeah, I had to do some weighted math, and it came out to a 7. So I kind of forget what I put here. It's been a few days. Okay, audiovisual 8. I actually did enjoy a lot of the different. We got to see sort of some the artistry of waterbending or of any bending more so than we have to this point. Kind of a finer detail. But it's still just an 8. You know, the music, like you said, the music was just the music. Not a whole lot going on. Okay, fight scene, neat-ish chase scene, nothing crazy, but I liked it well enough. Story, I'm not fond of the overall story. That's not to say I don't enjoy watching it and I'm not kind of entertained, but in the end here, there's really not much of a story. There's no lasting impact here. Kind of reminds me of like the Warriors of Kyoshi. It's not that it's not
yeah,
entertaining or whatever, but it just there's not a real strong lasting impact. But I'm glad we got to see pirates. That's fun. And then memorable, I did give it an 8 because it is an episode that I think about frequently because I do like the pirates. I love thinking about Sokka's his sort of negotiating with the pirates to get them to fight with Zuko. and just using that kind of leverage. I said I like thinking about the scroll itself and the artistry of the waterbending. So it's very memorable to me. So that rounds to a 7.4. So pretty close to yours. Not a huge improvement. That averaged out. Hey, that's definitely not the right average. That averaged out to a 7.2. I'll fix that. It was a 7.2 is the average in between us. Must have changed the wrong one.
What was your average rating?
Mine was
What was your
7.4.
score? 7.4.
And yours
Mine
was
7.
So 7.2.
Yeah, so it's 7.2. Yeah.
I might have changed the wrong one. I'll have to check when we get to the next episode. But 7.2.
Yeah, I think you did. Yeah.
And that's fair. It's just that's like a C grade, right? 72.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
it's a low
grade.
C. That sounds right.
I'm curious, honestly, if anything will get below a C. I mean, I'm pretty sure it will. I have a couple episodes that I think will.
Chris, we're coming up on an episode or 2 episodes or a few episodes I don't even care to rate. I mean, I will, but I don't want to. Yeah, we're gonna get some bad scores here. I don't have another commercial other than that. I was gonna say again that I can't say that it's so dumb because there's not a ton of views on it, but it just felt really good to see the rankings video get a few more views. But even more important, so the interaction that we had with people before the rankings video, or even just I posted like a snide comment in the fan club before we did this about the next episode, and I just liked the interactions that it generated. So I guess my commercial is, hey, if you like Avatar, you should go check out one of the multiple fan clubs. I believe you're in 2 of them. One is closed,
Yes,
one is open.
'cause-
I'm in an open one, and it's just it's just an interesting place to post an opinion and get a few other opinions. You get some dissenters.
I like it better than Reddit. Reddit's weird. I don't like Reddit. I tried it out. Also, it's just like there's actual people here, and you get to like see their opinions about stuff. I would like the groups on Facebook.
Yeah, I like viewing Reddit passively. I don't necessarily like participating in Reddit, but I'll scroll Reddit passively for days. I don't really care to participate in Reddit because it is so big. I like the idea of a group like that. There's a much better, cleaner circle of, hey, this is all shared interest. Post some stuff here, and the fact that it's, I mean, we've posted our episodes, some pictures. Other people post lots of fan art. There is lots of Zutara people in there, and that makes me angry. But whatever, you're entitled to your opinions, even though they're wrong. And so, no, I just wanted to say thanks to that fan club because they've kind of made the past few episodes very interesting for me that we've done. So thank you, fan club. Very much appreciate your contributions. That brings us to this stupid episode. This worthless, stupid episode. No, I'm being too harsh. But anyway,
it's a good episode.
It is an okay episode, which we will discover later that it is fine. But anyway, it is another. So, I mean, from the last episode, basically, the gang is back on foot. And that's probably very key because everything in this episode is pretty well ground bound. We just went from the water. Previously, we'd been in the air a lot. Now, this is very ground bound episode. And that doesn't seem like it would be an important. It's really not, but it just stands out to me as it's like it just doesn't happen very often, I guess, or at least it hasn't to this point. We've been flying around on Appa a lot, so something to keep in mind.
Appa needs a break.
Yeah, and they point out that they've been followed very effectively by Suko and Iroh, and Sokka points out that maybe it's because Appa is a 10-ton flying bison or something like that.
Yeah. So just. And this is also kind of a one-off episode, sort of, but picks up right. I mean, you could watch these in reverse order and you'll be completely fine. So there's Sokka's instincts of Sokka being pretty much like, all right, we need to go this way and we shouldn't fly. We had to be from now on, we're on ground. And Katara and him kind of get into a little, not really a fight, just a discussion, really. And pretty much Sokka's like, yeah. And Sokka pretty much like, I'm the leader, and so
it's funny to hear it.
I'm the leader, so we gotta do. Yeah, I know. So we gotta do what I say. And the Katara's like, "Why are you the leader? Because I'm the oldest, and I'm a boy." And it's just like, if anything, Aang should be the leader. He's the Avatar, and Sokka's like, Aang, he's just some goofy kid. And then Aang, right when they cut to him. He is like upside down, butt in the air, hanging off of Appa's horn. And he's just like, I can't disagree with him.
I should have grabbed that
'Cause-
screenshot. That was a good one.
yeah, because Aang really is like,
He's a goofy kid. It was well
break
put.
it down to his break a character down to you know to to their base level. Aang is just a goofy kid.
Can't argue
So
with it.
Sokka's pretty much like, if we just keep walking, we won't run into any Fire Nation troops. And right when they get through the bush of things, it's just a squad of Fire Nation troops.
Just camped out literally right there.
Yeah,
It's pretty
yeah.
fantastic.
And pretty much, so then the Fire Nation troops get ambushed though by Jet's gang, and everyone's trying to fight him. Sokka's trying to fight, but he can't get any hit because Jet's too fast. So there's already some confrontation between them. They're like, Jet's better than Sokka. He's
They
better.
play
He's
that
cooler.
up so hard all episode. Ugh, makes me sick. Anyways.
Um, but pretty much Jet's gang, really without any help, takes out this Fire Nation squad. I'll call them squad because Katara and Aang is like, oh, you took out a whole army, and Sokka's like, it wasn't an army. It was like 20 people tops. So there's continuing that confrontation. And Jet and his gang is pretty much the what do they call them?
The
and
Lost Boys from
Peter Pan,
from Peter
Lost
Pan,
Boys.
yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty much the Lost Boys.
And they
Um,
also, maybe they're not hitting you over the head with it, but it has a very corny Spielberg kind of vibe to it for sure.
Oh, definitely, especially when they go back to their hideout, which is all up in the trees.
Yeah, here it is. It is pretty cool. I like
and
how they show the hideout and whatever. It hits me in the nostalgia a little bit.
and just when they're Jet is giving this toast of like the pipsqueak, I loved what the pipsqueak did, and oh wait, not the pipsqueak, the Duke. Or the Duke, how he jumped on so and so's head and banged him, and rode him like a hog monkey. Like it's just that was kind of like I felt like that was like the nostalgia Lost Boys thing of like
it was a really
they're all
awkward-
one big family.
It was a really
was a little
awkward
awkward.
speech, I thought. It's sort of strange to see a cartoon pep talk given from one cartoon character to like it shows a bunch of other ones kind of, but not really. Like as far as we really know, there's like 5 or 6 people in this gang, even though it implies that there are a lot more. But at the dinner table,
Yeah,
and
there's
everything-
really 5 that matter.
yeah.
And you can tell characteristically who that 5 is.
And then you can already tell
Which I do.
that-
I do love his group. Like, there's no benders in it. I mean, you got dang, I forgot the guy's name with the bow and arrow.
Long shot.
Who's just long shot. I was gonna say bow shot. Long shot.
I keep wanting to
doesn't
say dead
anything.
shot.
He's
Same thing.
wrong. Yeah.
He's
There's
an
long
Avatar
shot. There's
dead shot.
Pipsqueak. There's a Pipsqueak and the Duke, which they're kind of a duo. Because when Jet introduced him, like, here's
It's
Pipsqueak and the
funny.
Duke. Yeah, that's a good impression. I couldn't do any better than that.
Thanks, man.
It turns out that the big guy is Pipsqueak and the small guy is Duke. It's just, I don't know. I find that funny.
I like the rest of the gang.
And there's
I like the rest of the gang way better than Jet. I'll give it that.
oh gosh, and then there's Smeller Bee, who you don't really know what she is. You don't know what gender she is, or sets, whatever. And it's not really even talked about. It's just kind of a character there.
Never even alluded to. Yeah.
So no, it's not alluded to until like season 2. But so yeah, you meet the crew, and after Jet gives a speech, you can tell that he's not all altruistic, really, because when he gives a speech, he's like, the Fire Nation think they can do this, they're dead wrong. And everyone's just cheers, like, hey. And then it's like, that's ominous.
They try so hard to make him sound cool and serious, and I just want to punch him in his kid face.
Oh yeah, then we're passing over that Katara immediately has a crush on Jet.
Another episode where
Like-
I hate Katara, by the way.
I don't hate her as much. I'm just like, Katara, come on. Like maybe she's just. I mean,
She's she's the last to
she is a
arrive to the church.
she has a schoolgirl crush
Yeah, and it impacts judgment
on
pretty
Jet.
hardcore. But
Yeah,
anyways,
I mean, I don't know how that happens, but
maybe I'm just maybe the reason I hate Jet is because I'm just jealous for Aang
you weren't
of
Jet.
the effect
Yeah.
that
The one
that Jet
thing,
has on her. I'm jealous on Aang's behalf.
Angus is completely cool with it too. I don't know why.
He is. I think
No,
he's
this
oblivious because there again, you're talking
he's
kind of a younger
oblivious. I
kid. I
think.
think he doesn't
Yeah,
really catch on to that part.
yeah. Like Jet is like 15 or something, and Jet is like cool. Like if this was a 60 movies, Jet would be smoking
He would
cigarettes.
be smoking cigarettes, and he'd
Like
have
he's
that nasty little mustache where it's just on the sides of his mouth and not
yeah.
the whole way across. That little teen. Ugh. Makes me hate teenage me just thinking about him. And there's no correlation there other than that he's just very teenagery. Makes me dislike all teenagers. Sorry, teenagers. I didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Jet's a jerk. He's not a representative of the whole. Anyway, I'm already getting to my feelings in the episode. They're making themselves known very early here.
I feel like you're going through therapy in this.
Giving it all away. To be fair,
I
and
feel like
a small spoiler alert, it's not the episode itself isn't bad. I just hate Jet. Small spoiler.
So yeah, so they go. Jet and Sokka go on a. I don't know why Sokka goes with him, but he just does.
They use
Go on a
they
mission.
use this to assuage his skepticism. Essentially, like he's getting all
Yeah,
mad because
yeah.
he sees Jet for what he is. He's like, "We're going," and then Jet, who the smooth guy that he is like, "Oh man, we needed you for an
Yes.
important
Yes.
mission." And the important mission,
Yeah.
which by the way is not a specific or important mission at all.
No. But Sokka does show his skill and his craft.
Yeah, it's pretty
Like
cool.
he's like, oh wait, I hear footsteps, and he puts like a knife to a tree, which I don't know the science behind it, but whatever. It's like someone's coming, and then it turns out that it's just an old man, and Sokka says, "Oh, false alarm, just an old man," and then Jack just completely threatens this old man's life. Like he's about to kill this old man. It seems like
This old Fire Nation man, not Firebender that we know. Fire
yes,
Nation,
yeah,
though.
important. Yeah, important. He's an old Fire Nation. The Fire Nation is settling on this Earth Kingdom colony. It's probably one of the earliest Fire Nation colonies that settled in the Earth Nation, in the Earth Kingdom. Sokka stops him, and Sokka sees Jet for what he really is. Like Jet's about to harm this man and threaten and kill him. Yeah, then they get back to camp, and Sokka's like, "Listen, we're leaving now." And then Katara and schoolgirl crush like, "No, we can't leave yet. Like I made this hat for him." Like, gosh,
Stupid
like,
looking hat.
it is a really stupid.
I don't
looking
know what
hat.
it's supposed to be. It looks a little awkward. No
It's
offense,
funny because
Katara.
I think he wears that hat
Aang
in
wears
the
it.
Ember Island play.
Aang, oh, maybe in the. I don't know about that part. I
Like,
know Aang puts it on later in this episode.
yeah, I'm not sure. But Sokka says, no, Jet was attacked an old man, and mostly Katara. And Aang is like, Jet wouldn't do that. So then, like, we'll go talk to Jet. And then Jet's like, it's somewhat true, but he did say it was a Fire Nation. It's like, yeah, Sokka left that big point out that it was a Fire Nation. And Jet completely lies, like, he was an assassin, Sokka. You saved me. Like, look, there's this knife. And Sokka's like, he didn't have a knife on him. Like, dang, Jet, you planting evidence? Man, not a good look.
He's going way overboard too, and very selfish. He's like, so not only did he plant the knife, but then also inside as if the knife wasn't like enough. He's like, it also has this compartment for a small amount of poison, which somehow this old man is going to administer to me. Sokka, you saved my life. And then he like straight up says he was sent to assassinate me, like just the most presumptuous.
One thing, yeah.
That guy could have been hunting wild pigs even if he'd had that knife. Like, no, he was sent to assassinate me. I can tell because there was poison. Everybody knows I'm a sucker for poison and that I'll eat anything you put in front of me. That's how I know he was sent here.
I do think they're kind of pretentious. Like even I think in the hideout lunch dinner meeting for like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure." I think it was Smellerby. It was like, "Yeah, the Fire Nation would love to get their hands on you, Jet, wouldn't they?"
Yeah, they're
Like,
very.
Jet, you're like, I know your team got your back and all, but you're not important. Like, you're not all that important. Like,
You have
here's
an
here,
immediate
especially.
geographical importance, but nowhere outside of this little section of land does anybody care about you in any
Yeah,
nation.
especially when 6 feet in front of you is the Avatar.
The guy, the one,
Like
the only.
he is so important that the Fire Nation decided to kill everyone who even looked like him because he was that important. You-
That's such a
like
sad way to look.
no one's
Like when you just say genocide, you kind of sweep over it. Like, yeah, they were doing it because of the
yeah,
Avatar, but they weren't Fire Nation, so it's genocide. Whatever, we're gonna kill all the airbenders. No, it's literally just because they all bore a physical resemblance to Aang.
yes, and they all lived in the same mountains. Jet, no one's walking around trying to kill people with straws in their mouth with hook swords.
His
Like
stupid
no
piece
one.
of straw or wheat or whatever that is that just.
Um, that's a random rant. I didn't think I was about to go off on,
If I could fight one
but
person in this whole television series, I'll give some credit though. I don't know what those hook swords are supposed to be. I'm sure they have
they're
a
real
real
life
life,
weapons.
uh, and I would love to sort of see them in real life action, I guess, just to get a better feel for them. But I do like them as weapons. Just
Oh yeah, I love them.
seems like something kind of niche that somebody off the wall would master, and I'm
Mhm.
glad it was different. Like it wasn't just a pair of knives, so that was fun. Or like it would have been so cheap just to make them all archers, for example, like very good dead shot, and they're just picking off Fire Nation from a distance all the time. Would have been a much
Yeah,
cheaper, easier way to go. So no, I like the weapons at least. I'll give Jet that.
yeah. So then yeah,
Oh, I
Sokka
skipped a couple
stands
of
up
things
to
here.
him.
Yeah,
Oh man, it's all right.
old man packing heat.
Um,
I just wanted to say that out loud.
yeah,
So then, here at this point it's the middle of the night, and Jet and the crew are sneaking off, and Sokka overhears them.
yeah. So then yeah, because they have like some blasting explosive or something, and then he captures Sokka, and he sends him out in the woods. I think to kill Sokka.
I don't
Like,
think they're
cause
gonna
cause
kill him,
Sokka.
right? They're just gonna put him in those nets. Maybe they're
Well,
gonna
no,
kill him. I
they
don't
have
know.
no, they have no idea about the Nets. Like, I legit think he sent Smeller B and Pipsqueak out there to kill Sokka. Cause Sokka knows their plan now. It's like
To
you're gonna
do
blow up the
his
dam.
dirty work. What a monster!
Yeah, and Sokka from before, because Mumbo got trapped in some trap before, escapes them and has them get trapped in the big trap that's in the trees. So Sokka escapes them. Um, then then Jet asks for Katara and Aang's help to get some water out of a dam or out of a reservoir thing to fill up the dam because I forgot what lie he told them.
I don't see.
But they do that.
Yeah, they're sort of pulling it from an underground reservoir, but
Hmm.
I don't remember what he tells them either. But it doesn't really make sense. Like shame on both of them for not knowing at this point, because whatever he said just didn't make a
Yeah,
whole lot of sense. But yeah, they're pulling it from an
yeah,
underground reservoir, guiding it through these
yeah.
essentially kind of steam vents, I guess.
But all it took was for him to get real cozy up with Katara for her to blush and say, "Oh yeah, whatever." So yeah, so they do that. But they do it fairly quickly, and then but Jet tells them, "No, I want you to meet when you're done. Meet me back at the hideout." And then but they get done quickly, and Katara's like, "Oh, let's go find Jet." And Aang is like, "Oh, he wants to meet in a hideout. I'm sure he wouldn't mind having me around." Like,
And he told him he was
gosh,
going to the dam or something like that. I don't remember
yeah,
why, but there again, it didn't make a ton of sense.
yeah. So
Also,
then they get to the dam, and
hatching this plant. So we mentioned they got the blasting jelly when they beat that group of Fire Nation soldiers. So maybe
mhm,
let's say 2 nights ago. Is that fair? 2 nights prior, they got this blasting jelly.
Yeah.
And in this span of time, Jet has like hatched this elaborate plan and made the decision just to try to kill everybody in a span of 2 days from when they got that blasting jelly. It's all it took him to be like,
See, although I'll give Jet a little credit here because he's told them, "Oh, I've been waiting to ambush these soldiers for a while now, but I needed a distraction, and you guys were a great distraction by getting caught." So maybe Jet was planning to ambush them at some point,
but he
or to
didn't.
steal.
I don't think he
the
knew
jelly.
that they had. No, I don't think he knew because Smellerby is like, "Hey, we got some blasting jelly too," and he's like, "Good, that's a great
Oh, yeah,
haul." So I don't think
good
he
point.
knew. So I think
Good counterpoint.
I think that he decided to try to kill everybody in the span of about 2 days. After, by the way, meeting the Avatar and seeing living hope in front of his face.
No, Jet's past hope.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point of Jet.
Thanks. All right, you said it. I'll stop. So, anyway, they do. Katara and Aang do eventually get up to where Jet is, and it's not quite the dam. It's maybe on top of the reservoir or something like that. I didn't quite understand the geographics.
And Aang comes to the realization. And Aang comes to the realization, like, as Katara's like, why would he blow up the dam? And then Aang's like, he's going to destroy the town. And then Jet admits to it. And then he's pretty much like, Jet gives a speech of like, we have to beat the Fire Nation. Like, does the Fire Nation care about destroying towns and cities and innocent people? No, we have to fight them like they fight us. And I mean, the purpose of Jet in this episode is to be what would happen if good intentions just went completely awry. Like, this is the first episode, the first instance in the series where a seemingly good person was doing something completely bad. I mean, it shows that this world is not all black and white like we were taught to believe in like the first couple of episodes, but there's grays all throughout.
I do think that, I'll save it for later, but suffice it to say, I think there's bigger holes in this story too, in a way that would have, the things they could have done to make it a more convincing gray area, so to speak. Like, it's not black and white, but it still feels pretty black and white. Like, they've been working really hard for a couple of years to sort of stave off the Fire Nation or keep them from overrunning the town or something. I forget how they word it. But then all at once he just decides, let's just kill everybody in the whole town. It's like, all right.
I think that's probably it's a leap to killing, and that's my biggest gripe with the episode. Is that
not
Jet
just
killing
the Fire Nation,
innocent people. Like we'll get to this part. But I would have liked to see Jet work his way up to because it's a work his way up to killing innocent people, because it's just like the foot in the door technique, or just like, oh well, this one little thing won't matter, but then that one little thing turns into something worse, much worse.
Like, let's start with maybe he kills a couple innocent, like he gets a casualty or two, but here it's like they're undoing all of the work that they've been doing, and it's so strange.
Yeah, if I want to rewrite something maybe for the new series, which don't worry, I'm not. They didn't call me up to write for the new show.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Wait till we
one
send
day
them
they might
clips
come
of our
across
podcast.
this.
Wait till we be like, hey, we spend about an hour per 20-minute episode just talking about this stuff. We've got some ideas.
But I would like Jet. I would like to meet Jet before Aang and Katara meets Jet. I want Jet to find the leader of the Rough Rhinos, because in future episodes you learn that the leader of the Rough Rhinos burnt down Jet's home and he killed his parents. I want Jet to find him, track him down, and kill him. That would be like Jet's first kill.
Give him taste of blood.
He doesn't know what that feels like yet. Like he was unsure about it.
First kill
but
with
he
no
ends up killing the guy
casualties,
anyway.
maybe even like we're gonna start straight up.
Yeah,
because I'm taking vengeance on this one dude.
Yeah, and he will be completely righteous in his cause, but then that just leads to, all right, I killed this guy who was really terrible. Now I killed this guy who wasn't that terrible, but he was terrible, to a point of I'm willing to kill innocent people.
I think that.
So I would have.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I would like to see that progression to where, all right, by the time you meet them in the new show, Jet would have killed that person already. Also, that would mirror Katara's. Oh, I'm about to whatever people are saying. There's an episode later on where Katara has to confront her mother's killer, and at one point, Aang does says like, "You're just sounding like Jet now." So
Forgot about that.
we could have the mirroring of Jet killing the person who killed his family with Katara thinking about contemplating killing the person who murdered her mom. And you can see how a person can go down this path, but a righteous person might choose something differently than Jet, who's not a righteous person.
I will say that
But
would make Jet far more convincing, which would be important to me. Maybe I would relate a little more and hate a little less. I still think the story would need work. I still think there would have to be a way. Like, he's a smart guy.
I'm not
He
a
would
professional. I
understand.
didn't go to college for this.
He would. Well, fix it, Chris. He. Uh, there would have to be, like, he's clearly a smart, accomplished young human. He would have to see or find a better way to wipe out all Fire Nation with a few casualties in town or something, like, because like I said, right now they're just blatant 100%. They're undoing all of the good and all the bad. They're just like, all right, we're just gonna kill everybody. And I would find it hard to think that anyone outside of Thanos would say that's a good idea. And so,
Yeah.
anyway, I think it was my fault
All right.
because I kind of started us on a different tangent. We didn't really finish up here, which is
Oh no, yeah, we're not done at all.
Katara and Aang confront Jet, and I forget kind of what
Yeah.
triggers it, but they see the truth. They're like, oh yeah, he is gonna blow up the dam, isn't he?
Yeah, so then Jet comes out. He admits to him that that's his plan. The Fire Nation has to be completely wiped out in order for them to be safe. So Aang and Jet get into a fight, which is an amazing fight.
It's
I love
a
this
very
fight.
good fight. I like it a lot.
A great display of probably the best displays so far of Bagua style, airbending style of fighting versus Jet. And Jet is very capable. Like, he is beating Aang really in this fight. And the thing I love about Jet's hook swords is that he can fight you kind of close combat style. Because one thing about it, like, it has like sharp hooks on the knuckle, and then of course it goes out into a hook. But then he can like connect the hooks to get more range on it, and also he can hook around trees and stuff. It was a great fight. Love the fight.
I like the weapons a lot too, and obviously they contribute in large part to that.
So then he pretty much beats Aang.
I
And
think
then
there's a
Katara.
difference though in that he's clearly willing to make sacrifices, right? Like, I think he's probably fighting Aang 100%, but Aang
Yeah,
is still
yeah,
like, Aang's not gonna try to kill this. Aang's not gonna blow this guy out of a tree. He's not a bender. He can't save himself. So he's beating
yeah.
Aang. It's hard to argue that, but maybe not in a
Also,
true
this
head
is
to head.
yeah. Also, it's kind of a random tangent. Not really a tangent, but even though Aang is an airbending master, I don't think he's that strong of an airbender.
Probably not
Like
yet.
he is
Yeah.
a strong. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's that. Like, just because he's a master, I think people think, oh, when you get the title master, you've reached like one of the powerful benders in the world, which technically Aang is the greatest airbender in the world. Because he's
If
the last one. He's also the worst.
if you're willing to measure that way, yeah.
But I think we see Aang's airbending skill grow. Like in Sozan's comic, he freaking throws a tornado at at at, at Sozan. He freaking does this one move where it's just like this huge freaking thing of air, like sort of like an air beam. Like, he never does that stuff early on. So I think he's gotten better at airbending. Like, he got his tattoos because all you gotta do to get an airbending tattoos is come up with a new airbending technique. All right, he did that. He came up with the air scooter.
The scooter. Yeah.
You don't have to be.
What
yeah,
a
you don't have
great
to be.
contribution to mankind.
Yeah. So Aang also, yeah, like you said, I don't think Aang is giving it his all. Also, he's doing the whole, airbending, evade, and
Yeah, but
Yeah.
to give Jet his credit, he is a very adept fighter with a very unusual weapon set, and he's at the disadvantage of he's not a bender, he's just a dude in the trees.
Yeah.
So
This is probably the first time a non-bender has been shown to be really capable. Sokka honestly hasn't been that
not with
capable.
a weapon yet. He's done some other good things, especially in these 2 episodes. But
Yeah.
not necessarily in
Yes,
combat yet. So yeah, the whole gang might be that first foray of non-bender excellence, I guess. Way to go, way to go, Muggles.
So Jet beats Aang. Katara completely beats the crap out of him with water, and this is the first time that Katara uses ice. Like, and you can tell that Katara bidding is getting stronger because of emotion. Like, she's completely mad at Jet because she had this crush on him, and he broke her heart.
The life of young people. It's so hard.
Yeah. But she completely freezes him, and you think it's over with. And, she has a great acting moment, I think, when she asks, like, why Jet? And then Jet pretty much says why. But then Jet whistles, and that's all it takes. Like, that's the signal. Long shot, shoots the fire bow, blows out the dam. At that point, Aang and Katara thinks it's over. Like, the village has been destroyed. Like, people killed. They didn't stop it.
They might also
I wish I'd taken it.
They might also be thinking. They might also be thinking too. If I don't remember how she says it, but they might be worried about the fact that Sokka may or may not be dead at this point as well.
Yeah, because he says during the fight, he says like,
I thought Sokka would understand. Yeah. So maybe Sokka's dead. I don't know.
Yeah, she cries. She completely sheds tears as if she thinks Sokka's died. But then once the dam blows up, Sokka comes up, and you're like, "Oh, Sokka! Like, how did you?" And you say the villagers, and he comes up with all the villagers, and this is what I love about Sokka is that Sokka, time after time, shows how smart he is, and how his instincts does really play a part, no matter how they're wrong sometimes. But he says, at first I was gonna try and stop him. I was going to try and stop him. I figured I'd go warn the villagers, but they didn't believe me. But the old man vouched for me.
Who was
told them
not
all,
packing heat, the innocent old man, the heatless.
Yeah, innocent old man. This old man also didn't turn Sokka in like that other old man from the imprisoned.
Yeah, that jerk. Way to go. Score 1 point for Old Man Fire Nation.
Yeah, exactly. And then they got all the people out of the village in time, all because Sokka's always done the right thing. But yeah, Sokka, I think, really showed, why Sokka continues to prove why he is very important to Team Avatar.
And he also admits that his instincts sometimes are good and sometimes are not so good. So there's a lot of personal awareness going on in this episode. Destroy the dam. Sokka's instincts pay off. He does get the people out of the village, and then he comes back. I wonder if there was a better way to prevent it all from happening. But that was probably the safest way, the fail-safe. But you would like to think a better way of getting rid of the blasting jelly or whatever. But I think he did the safest route, so good for him. And yeah, that's the end of the episode. I think they leave Jet just kind of froze up, and they go on their way.
That's pretty much the episode.
It's a little bit of an abrupt end because it's very sad. You see like the teddy bear, the doll or something floating around in the water, and then you know that Jet's just like frozen to a tree.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of ice is that? Is it gonna melt? Is he gonna die? Is he just gonna try again later? Yeah. Or was so? It's a weird end. But
they left that really open. They really did leave that open ended. Like, we trapped Jet, but they didn't keep him trapped.
Yeah. But at least he's stuck to a tree, and his friends are stuck in trees, so they all have time to think about what they've done before they escape. However, so maybe that's the important piece. They're not just getting right back out to their antics right away. Have to dwell on their defeat. So that brings us to your ratings.
All right, audiovisual, gave it an 8. The thing that really jumped the score up was the fight between Aang and Jet. I think the creativity with the hook swords was amazing. The display of Bagua was amazing as well. and also just in the trees, like it's fall time, the leaves flowing and stuff, and how they, how they color the leaves. All that was, I think, was really great. Um, but it wasn't that fantastic, so gave it an 8.
Yeah.
On to story. Like I said before, this is the first time that the I think that the world of gray was brought to the world of Avatar. That things aren't all black and white. I really like Jet's story, because Jet, this is what happens when a righteous cause is completely distorted and kind of, I'll say, kind of mutilated or perverted. That's what I'm looking for. And what hate would do to you. So I really enjoyed Jet's part in this, and I do like Jet. I've never disliked Jet. I did dislike Katara in this again. So these are 2 bad Katara episodes back to back.
Yeah, rough Katara episode. Good Sokka episodes. Bad Katara episodes.
Yeah. Then memorable, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's not. I don't think there's like one moment that I just go back and look on and like, oh, I really love that moment. The most memorable thing I think is Jet. Is Jet really? I mean, just his story and what he represents. But yeah, there's other. I don't have to watch this episode when it comes up. I did enjoy it a lot this umpteenth time that I watched it. Maybe because I was comparing it to the most recent episode, but so memorable, gave that.
It's surrounded by some real garbage. Wait, no, the next one you like. Sorry, the next one you like. I apologize.
Do I?
Yes.
Is it the?
Wait, am I getting it mixed up? I am getting it mixed. No, the next one.
So.
The next one is the Great Divide. You're right. So it's sandwiched between some garbage.
Then after that, is the storm.
That's the one. Okay, got it. So yours comes out to a 7.9. So that's a respectable episode. So audiovisual, I actually really liked. I liked that.
Ooh, yeah. So you like this episode?
More than I thought, to be honest. Overall in the episode, the audiovisual, I liked that it was Earth Kingdom. It's almost like it was Earth Kingdom, but you can tell that Fire Nation was there. Like there's lots of reds. You knew you were in the Earth Kingdom. It felt like the Earth Kingdom. There's just tints of red and everything. I don't know. I like that a lot. And then the other stuff that you mentioned, the fight scene. I love it when stuff blows up real good, and the dam blew up real good. That was fun.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I hate the story, and this is Jet's fault. And so when I hate Jet, that hits here, and it's because of the way that he's carried out and displayed and demonstrated. I like just all the commentary about thinking his speech is corny, that he's overdone, or that his plan, like the way that he's explaining whatever reason he's telling Katara and Aang to get the water out of the vents or through the vents, and I don't remember what it is, or the blasting jelly thing. Like just like I said, it was like 2 days where he got the blasting jelly and then just decided to kill everybody, or even that he was very smooth and like, hey Sokka, we've got an important mission and we need you to go on it, but it was just sitting up in the trees and waiting on literally anybody to walk by. So there's so many problems that, yes, it's partially because I hate Jet, but they manifest themselves through the story. I think the story is holy and it's weird, and I refuse to believe that any conscious good person would ever arrive at the killing everybody approach. I believe he would have found a better way. Had to be a better way to demonstrate that there's still casualties. Maybe you kill 100% of firebenders and you risk killing 50% of the other people, but it's for the greater good, and we're still going to save some people and they're going to live well, blah, 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 blah. No, he just goes straight to killing everybody. So
they are Fire Nation people.
But I think there's still Earth Nation, or at least it implies that there's still Earth Nation people there too. Doesn't it?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
If they're all Fire Nation, that does change my feelings a little bit. Like they're not all Fire Nation soldiers or firebenders, but maybe it is a Fire Nation kind of colony. But I was under the impression that it was sort of an earthbending, or I guess an Earth Nation community with Fire Nation inhabitants or something like that. Maybe I misunderstood that.
I think it's. I'm under the impression that it's a Fire Nation colony, only because when Sokka goes there, like people have to vouch for him. Like the old man has to vouch for him, and I think the old man's word is only good if he's Fire Nation. If he was Earth Nation, like Earth Kingdom, why would I believe Earth Kingdom person?
Fair
But
enough.
he was Fire Nation. Um, but they're still innocent people.
I
But
said
it's
that
it.
that would impact my judgment a little bit. It probably wouldn't change my rating, but it would at least impact how I viewed his decision making. So, like I said, yeah, it's because I hate Jet, but I hate him for the way that he's manifested throughout the story, or the way that his plans manifest themselves, I guess. So, terrible story in my opinion. But it was very memorable. I talk about the episode a lot. It's one that comes up. Fans, Jet, maybe not a fan favorite because he is very dichotomous, but he's something that comes up frequently in conversation, sort of a love hate character. So I remember that. I remember the dam, all that fun stuff. So it does stick in my brain. So I did like it better than I thought I would. I gave it a
Uh,
7.4 overall. And so with a little math, that was supposed to
so
be
you
a
liked it just as much as the Waterbending Scroll. Both you gave them both a 7.4, right?
yes, that is accurate. I
Yes.
liked it just as much. The waterbending scroll is certainly less important to the grand scheme of things. Whereas this episode has a
Oh,
much greater
definitely.
impact. We learn a lot more about a lot of other people, so it just that overcomes all the things that I dislike about Jet.
Yeah.
Um,
Does this episode does Jet knowing where Jet ends, does that help this episode for you?
I tried not to think about it. Like thinking about you mean thinking about Jet in the future?
Well,
In
just your
future
thought
episodes.
of not necessarily grading this episode, but just Jet as a character. Does where he end up uh, improve Jet for you? Improve the character of Jet for you?
Not particularly, I don't think. I
Yeah,
do.
because it sort of atones.
No, I'm still not sold
I
on
mean, it
him.
doesn't have to for you. That's
No,
why.
I'm still not sold. And then I'm also so let's get past the fact that obviously I have some bias against Jet, but I'm also pretty unhappy with Aang and Katara in this episode. Like shame on how long it took them to come around. And yeah, I know you don't want to trust Sokka's instincts, but what about when Sokka has a pretty valid story and they still don't trust
Yeah.
him, or how long it takes him to come around to Jet's plan? So even if we look past that part, I still have strong enough complaints. It just paints a whole negatory picture. But like I said, there's enough sort of strong, memorable moments, and obviously dichotomous characters that's memorable in its own way. And I really did like the audiovisual. We haven't. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say there's not been another episode where, like I said, we know we're in the Earth Kingdom. It's kind of clear from the landscape and the environment, and all that. And yet it just feels like a Fire Nation kind of episode. So whatever they did in there, it registered right in my brain. So big props in other ways. Even if the waterbending scroll is a more well-rounded, just a casual episode that you could put in front of anybody, and they would say, "Hey, that's kind of a fun episode of that TV show."
I think a random person who never watched Avatar would enjoy Jet more than the Waterbending Scroll.
You don't think they would be turned off by Jet as a character's mini flaw, or maybe let's say would they be turned
No, because
off
like,
or
because Jet is
overwhelmed?
like a stereotypical, Magneto type villain, where it's like, oh, I get where he's coming from. Like, he's like the Killmonger of this. Like, we gotta do, by any means necessary, we gotta win this war. Like, people get that, and I think people understand that, even if they disagree with it.
I'm gonna compare Jet to my dog right now. I think for the average person, my dog is a great dog, but he can be overwhelming right at first. Like he's so over the top. Like you come in my door a few times, right when you come in the door,
Yeah.
he is beyond excited. So if you don't know my dog, or if you're just like lukewarm on dogs altogether, that's gonna scare you off a little bit. That's what Jet like. That's just a lot to take in right away if you haven't watched some other Airbender and kind of seen other pieces of the story. It'd be a lot to swallow. But that's kind of I'm changing the question a little bit because this is making it sound like it's a brand new person. If it was a brand new person, though, I would absolutely show him the waterbending scroll over Jet. Absolutely.
I just feel like there's just less to relate to in the Waterbending Scroll, and it's more kiddish. I guess it depends on what person.
It's more casual, yeah.
I'm
It's
thinking
more
about
casual.
like maybe people who watch cartoons like Waterbending Scroll more, but like people who are just I don't know are normal.
Okay. Yeah, it's 11:55 p.m. and we have spent approximately an hour and 45 minutes talking about 2 episodes of Avatar, and you're going to reference any group of people as normal. I'm going to assume that we're not in that group.
Yeah, no, I've never thought I was in a normal group.
So,
Oh,
either way, like I said, they came out in my head. They came out even in the end, just an overall quality to the overall series.
I think I stopped being normal in high school, or I stopped considering myself as normal in high school. But like, I still watch cartoons. No one
Yeah,
else
that
is
sounds
watching
right.
it.
I went from a Catholic grade school to a public high school, and so then my perception of normal shifted quite a bit, as well as my perception of myself. So, interesting times. Interesting times. In conclusion, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of liked the 2 episode format. It was a little longer, but especially in episodes like these that love them or hate them, I think we could both agree they're not the most consequential episodes. Um, so I did kind of like the 2 episode format. Next week, I would say we may not do 2 episodes, but it is going to be 2 parts at a minimum because there's no way I'm spending more than 20 minutes talking about the Great Divide.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it because
Yeah, I
it
don't.
doesn't deserve my attention that long.
Or you know what?
We'll just go straight to the
We could
ratings.
challenge ourselves to we could challenge ourselves to only talk about the good things and the great. I
I mean, we can do it. We
think it's a
can
great
sit
divide.
down and talk about anything, but just in terms of
Yeah, we just It's
just in
it's
terms
a
of
lot of
how we
time to talk
want
about
to,
something that.
I guess, in how we want to spend our time. I think it's like, all right, well, let's give of the usual time slot. Let's give 20% to the Great Divide and 80% to the anything else. The best serials, best Disney movies, you name it. Any one of these other topics that we've discussed. Let's hit one of those. But yeah, so expect something maybe a little different next week. Probably not a full hour on the Great Divide, I hope.
No, I refuse.
It will probably be better rated than I actually make it sound, but I fully anticipate it being
Mm,
like I keep saying like I'm gonna give it.
I don't know.
I keep saying like I'm gonna give it all zeros. I'm not gonna give it all zeros. I'm gonna try to do it the justice of giving it a real rating, but it's still not gonna be a rating that you're ever gonna want to watch the episode because it sucks. But anyways, that's next week. Thank you very much for tuning in. And come back next week because we will do something exciting, whatever that is, along with the Great Divide, and maybe you can laugh at the Great Divide with us. My plan is to go to the Facebook fan group and get people's opinions of the Great Divide because there's going to be somebody's going to come out in defense. It's going to have probably multiple people. I think
Probably people like to be different.
yeah, exactly. Well, especially in that group where it's very conversational, so it's very encouraging just to like, hey, you know what? Let's throw out the different side. You don't even have to agree with it. Just let's throw out the opposite side or what have you. So it'll be fun to toss that one out to the group and be like, I hate the Great Divide. What do you guys think? And I'm sure there's going to be some interesting responses.
No, you should say I love the Great
I
Divide. What do you
oh
guys
ooh,
think?
fine. I'll give it a try. Hopefully they haven't watched this episode or they'll know I'm lying. Hopefully they're not one of the 2 people that saw this. Thanks, Mom. But anyway, thank you for calling over, Chris. Thank you for tuning in, everybody else. And we will be back hopefully next week. I don't see why we won't be. I think I've got a pretty clean week with another episode.